A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 27. That day, with his unyielding sword, massive and strong, the Lord will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent. Leviathan, the twisting serpent. He will kill the dragon that lives in the sea. The vineyard of the Lord. That day, the lovely vineyard, sing of it. I, the Lord, am its guardian. At any time I water it so that no harm will befall it. I guard it night and day. I have no quarrel with it. If it produces for me brambles and thorn bushes, I shall make war on it and burn it all. Or should they cling to me for protection, let them make their peace with me. Peace let them make with me. In days to come, Jacob will take root. Israel will bud and blossom and fill the whole surface of the world. The final recompense. Has he struck him as he was struck by those who struck him? Has he slain him as he was slain by those who slew him? You contended with her by excluding her. With a breath as fierce as the day of the east wind. For that is how Jacob's guilt is forgiven. Such will be the fruit of renouncing his sin, when all the altar stones have been smashed to pieces. Like lumps of chalk, when the sacred poles and incense altars stand no longer. For the fortified city is abandoned now, a deserted dwelling, forsaken as a desert, where calves browse, where they lie down, destroying its branches. When boughs go dry, they are broken off. Women come and use them for firewood. Now, this is a people devoid of understanding, and so its maker will not take pity on it. He who formed it will not show it any mercy. When that day comes, the Lord will beat out the grain from the course of the river to the torrent of Egypt. And you, Israel, will be gathered in one by one. When that day comes, the great ram's horn will be sounded, and those lost in the land of Assyria will come, and those banished to the land of Egypt, and they will worship the Lord on the holy mountain in Jerusalem. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, Poems on Israel and Judah, chapter 28, a warning to Samaria. Woe to the haughty crown of Ephraim's drunkards, to the fading flower of its proud splendor, sited at the head of the fertile valley, to those prostrated by wine. See, a strong and mighty man in the Lord's service, like a storm of hail, a destructive tempest, like mighty, overflowing floodwaters. With his hand he throws them to the ground. They will be trampled underfoot, the haughty crown of Ephraim's drunkards, and the fading flower of its proud splendor, sited at the head of the fertile valley, like a fig ripe before summer comes. Whoever sees it swallows it straight out of the hand. That day, the Lord Sabaoth will be a crown of splendor and a proud diadem for the remnant of his people, a spirit of fair judgment for him who sits in judgment, and the strength of those who repel the assault on the gate. Against false prophets. These two reel with wine, stagger with strong drink. Priest and prophet reel with strong drink, are befuddled with wine, have strayed due to strong drink, are confused in their visions, and stray in their judgments. Every table is covered in filthy vomit. No place is left. To whom should he give his teaching? To whom explain his message? Babies just weaned? Babies just taken from the breast? For it is Sav Lasav, Sav Lasav, Kav Lakav, Kav Lakav, Zir Sham, Zir Sham. For he will talk to this nation with stammering lips and a foreign language. He used to say to them, "Here you can rest. Give rest to the weary. Here it is quiet." But they would not listen. So the word of the Lord to them is Sav Lasav, Sav Lasav, Kav Lakav, Kav Lakav, Zir Sham, Zir Sham, so that when they walk, they will fall over backwards, broken, trapped, and taken captive. A warning to Jerusalem. Therefore, listen to the word of the Lord, you scoffers, rulers of this people in Jerusalem. You have said, "We have struck a deal with death and have made a pact with Sheol. When the raging flood passes through, it will not touch us. For we have made lies our refuge and taken shelter in falsehood." So the Lord God says this, "See, I am laying a stone in Zion, a granite stone, a precious cornerstone, set firm. One who relies on this will not panic. I will make fair judgment the measuring line, and righteousness the plumb line. But hail will sweep away the refuge of lies, and floods wash away the shelter. Your deal with death will be broken, and your pact with Sheol will not stand. When the raging flood passes through, you will be beaten down by it. Every time it passes through, it will seize you. For it will pass through morning after morning, by day and by night. Nothing but fear will explain what you hear. For the bed is too short to stretch out on, the blanket too narrow for a covering. For the Lord will arise as on Mount Perazim. As in the valley of Gibeon he will rage, to do his work, his mysterious work, to do his deed, his uncanny deed. Stop scoffing then, or your bonds will be tightened yet more. For I have heard destruction decreed by the Lord God Sabaoth over all the earth. The parable of the farmer. Listen closely to my words. Be attentive and listen to what I say. Does the plowman plow all day, breaking up and harrowing his soil? Once he has leveled its surface, does he not scatter fennel, sow cumin? Then he puts in wheat, millet, barley, and spelt at the edges. He arranges it with fair judgment. His God sends the rain. Fennel must not be crushed with a sledge, nor cartwheels driven over cumin. Fennel must be beaten with a stick, and cumin with a flail. When you are threshing wheat, you do not crush it too much. You get the horse and cartwheel moving, but you do not grind it fine. All this comes from the Lord Sabaoth. He is marvelous in counsel, great in wisdom. The word of the Lord.